You can't avoid that. You can't avoid not hearing that. Hey friends, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. It's Sarah from Pies and Pros, and today we are talking gift guides. Specifically, we're going to be talking about a gift guide for the content creator in your life, or perhaps you are someone who is aspiring to be a content creator. I'm going to be showing you a full gift guide on all the essentials that you can use or that you can gift for that person or yourself this season. You can sort of see this gift guide as a general guide if you think about it, because not only am I going to be sharing products that you should be getting as someone who creates content online, but it is a little bit of a guide on how to get started, some basics, if you will. So I hope this is helpful. Get your little holiday list ready, your Santa's list. Let's just get right into it. Okay, let's get started with the main thing that you need to purchase when you're starting off, and that is what you're going to be recording your videos or taking photos with. Now, for my videos on YouTube, I use a camera, and it is highly recommended that you use a camera that is specialized in video for your YouTube videos. Of course, you're going to get the highest quality that way. And I personally use a 4K mirrorless camera. I will link the information in the description of which one I use exactly. But that is what I use for my videos. It gives me an extremely high quality video. And of course, that is important when you're creating your videos for YouTube or wherever it is that you're going to be posting. Now, if you're going to be taking a lot of photos, I still do recommend using a camera, a professional camera, if you can afford that. But let's be real, not all of us can afford that. And especially if we're starting off, we might want to start on the smaller spectrum, and that's absolutely fine. I use my phone for my Instagram, and it works perfectly. Now, I will say that it depends on the phone that you use, because of course, the higher end phone that you use, the better quality photo you're gonna get. I highly recommend a high quality phone that has a competitive high quality camera on it to take your photos for wherever it is that you're gonna be posting. I personally use the Google Pixel 5. I have been using the Google Pixel phones from the very beginning, and I've been using that for my Instagram posts and for a lot of photography. Honestly, I even use it for my YouTube thumbnails and I basically use it for all of my photography. I don't use this camera for photography typically. I usually just use this for video, and then I use my phone for photos. Now, if you can't afford the camera and the phone at the same time, I would suggest going with one or the other. You can definitely shoot high quality photos and videos from a camera, and you can definitely shoot high quality photos and videos from a phone these days. And that's the beauty of high quality phones. So if you're gonna wanna invest on one, if you have to, I would pick one or the other. It honestly doesn't matter, especially if you're starting off. But once you get a little bit more in the intermediate end, you might want to get both. There are a lot of options out there where you can pay monthly installments if this is something that you're paying for yourself. Even as a gift, I personally bought this camera and I had to pay in monthly installments when I first purchased it, but the camera came first. I was able to get started and use the camera before it was fully paid off. So if you want to do that as a gift to someone, they can get that gift immediately, and you can continue to pay it off if that works out for you. Now that you have your equipment, like your main device, now we're going to talk about storage. You absolutely need storage, and this is important. Don't skip this part, because when it's time to shoot your videos and it's time to shoot your photos, you want to make sure you have the space there, or else you're going to get caught in a situation where you're out and about, you're taking your photos for a photo shoot, you're doing a video series, and your memory gets full, and then you have no space to create more, and you really, really need to create more. So get yourself some memory, get an SD card for a camera if you're going to be using a camera, and get yourself a memory card for your phone if your phone allows external memory. If your phone doesn't have external memory, you might have to use a cloud, and that absolutely works as well. But just to back yourself up, just make sure you have memory cards for whatever is compatible to use a memory card. That is very important. Right now, I use a 64 gig SD card, which is actually on the lower end. That's pretty low for videos, and you can go extremely high. You can go into the terabyte range, but of course that ranges on price. And when I first got my equipment as a content creator, I was unemployed. So I needed to be budget friendly as possible. So if you are also in that boat, you can absolutely get away with a 64 gig SD card. I believe my phone has 128 gigs of storage in it, so a lot of space actually. Okay, now that we're done with the main device and the storage, now let's get on to some of the add-ons. And add-ons, of course, as it's self-explanatory, these are add-ons and they are optional, but they definitely enhance the experience. They enhance your content to another level. And I personally think some are necessary, but of course, everything is optional. It all depends on your budget and what you think is best. I'm going to talk about the first add-on that is, to me, personally necessary, and that is a tripod. So I actually have 3 tripods, and I have 2 for my camera, I have 1 for my phone. So let's talk about the ones for the camera first. The first one that I have for my camera is a small tripod, so I'm going to do a little bit of b-roll so you can see what that looks like. But this tripod is the one that I use 99% of the time. It is for daily, regular chats in front of the camera. So right now I am using that tripod, and anytime I do a video like this, which is 99% of the time, my tripod is being used so that it's standing up and it's angled correctly. So it is extremely important to have this tripod. You can get a bunch of different tripods like that are for your tabletop that have different like pulleys. You can angle it in a specific way. It has different benefits, pros and cons to it, so you can definitely go all out in choosing that. I personally got this tripod for like $10 at Micro Center when I was just browsing around the area, and I said, hey, you know, I really need a tripod like this, and it was on sale. So I personally can't recommend this one. It is cheap. It was cheap, and the quality is definitely on the cheap side. So I can't recommend it, but you know, it does the job, and I will link it in the description if you're interested, and especially if you're on a tight budget. The second tripod that I have for my camera is huge. It's huge. So this tripod is like 7 feet plus tall. It's extremely large, and I will say it was on the expensive side. I think it was like $100, maybe a little bit more. I can't remember. I bought it a long time ago, but I invested in this tripod because I do overhead shots. If you're going to be doing overhead shots that look like flat lays or sort of like the bullet journal spread sort of outlook, if you've ever seen videos like that, you need an overhead tripod. Now, my overhead tripod looks like a tower, and I sort of just angle it so that it works out to be overhead perfectly like this, but there are tripods that are built like this, and you just attach your camera like that, and it's overhead. So again, depends on what you're looking for, depends on your budget, and you know, all the different little customizations that you need, which are available these days, which is fantastic for content creators. But that is personally the one that I purchased, and it is expensive, it is huge, but it has come in handy so much. And I will say that the price is absolutely worth it, because I don't think I will ever buy a tripod ever again. I don't need to buy another large tripod like that, because it's such great quality. It does what it needs to do. It actually, like, though it's 7 feet tall, I can break it down very easily and pack it up in a little duffel bag that it comes with. It is heavy, but I do love it. I think it's extremely useful, and it's foolproof. And I just want to pause right here and say I'm directing this video to you as if these gifts are going to be for you, but it can absolutely be for someone else in your life. So if you're looking for gifts for someone else, you can absolutely use this as a guide to gift someone else. It can also be a dual guide in general for starting off as a content creator. Does that make sense? Moving along, the last tripod, the third tripod in my trio is my phone tripod. If you're going to be using your phone, and if the phone happens to be your exclusive device for creating content, you also need a tripod for this. So you don't need multiple tripods for your phone just because your phone can only have the capacity and depth of a phone. So you're good with just using one tripod. And of course, these are customizable. You can find different tripods for different reasons, with extendable legs, with movable legs. It all depends. The tripod that I have has extendable legs, And it comes with a remote, a little tiny remote. And this remote helps me take photos of myself without needing someone to be there. Like, you all know the days, the MySpace days. I hope I didn't just date myself, but you just hit the self timer and you run for your life and you just got to get the perfect shot. You don't need to do that anymore. So you can get a tripod that comes with a Bluetooth little remote that can help you take portraits and photos of yourself or just photos in general. And it was pretty cheap. I will say that the legs are flimsy, so I don't 100% recommend it, but I do recommend it for its remote. So I don't know if that helps. But yeah, I think it was in the $20 range. And of course, I will link that in the description. Okay, moving on to a couple more add-ons. External microphones. So I have 2 external microphones. I'm getting a little extra on myself, but here are the external microphones that I have. I have one that is connected to my camera right now. It's got that little fuzzball, like you know from like news broadcasting, and it just connects right onto my camera. And this just really clarifies and removes any fuzz from the audio in the video clip. The audio that you're hearing right now is 100% from the video when I recorded it. It's a lot clearer than if I just recorded just using my camera, and this is just another enhancement. It's not 100% necessary. I have a lot of videos on my YouTube channel that do not use this microphone. I paid about $40 to $50 for this microphone. I really love it. The second external microphone that I have is specifically for voiceovers and podcasts. If you're going to be creating videos that need voiceovers and you want a really clear voiceover, it is best to get an external microphone. Again, it clears out any fuzz, any echo, any weird stuff that goes on when you record directly into the device that you're using. I usually use it for podcasts because I don't really use it for voiceovers, and my podcast is on my Patreon. It's not like anywhere public. If you were like, oh my god, where is this Pies and Bros podcast? It's on my Patreon, so don't worry about that. If you want to check that out, I'll put that in the description. It's so clear. There's like minimal background noise unless there's like an obnoxious plane or a car in the background. You really don't hear anything but my voice. If you are planning to be a podcaster, you need an external microphone. So keep that in mind. And I believe I purchased my external microphone for in the $30 to $40 range. Yeah, so not too bad. Another add-on is artificial lighting. Now, I don't use artificial lighting in my videos or photos. I try to steer away from it, and I highly suggest using natural lighting whenever possible, and that's free, so fantastic. But if you're someone that shoots late at night or you just absolutely need that artificial lighting, definitely get artificial lighting. Now, I'm sure you've seen it in makeup videos. If you've ever seen a makeup video, there's like a ring of light in the person's eye. It's because they've got a ring light behind them, and that's giving them the best quality lighting so that you can see everything going on their face, their beautiful face. Definitely recommend if you're going to be doing content like that. Definitely recommend if you're someone that doesn't have much natural lighting, doesn't have great natural lighting. And the one that I have, I don't even remember how much it is. It was cheap because it was so long ago when I purchased it. I was on a tight budget. I don't even use it, but I have it just in case. And it is one that attaches onto the top of my camera. There are some that are external, like the ring light I was talking about, that sort of stands on its own, sort of like a tripod, but it's a light and then you plug it into the wall. Okay, coming on to the final add-ons that are a little bit boring but absolutely necessary. These are things that have come up while I have been creating content and I had to either like impulse purchase or quickly purchase because I needed it in an emergency, and I'm here to share that with you so that you're not stuck in a situation where you're like, oh my god, I need to get this really quickly. We've covered all bases, so you are all set, and if you're gifting this to someone, they are all set and they can thank you for the times where they're in a situation where they needed what I'm about to tell you. It made it sound so extra, but it's not. An external hard drive. A lot of people talk about an external hard drive. What the heck is it? It's basically external storage. So you've got your SD cards and your memory cards in your camera and your phone, but you're gonna want something external that's outside of your computer or your laptop or your phone or your camera, because you want to save your files there. If you have critical files that you want to keep, you want to archive, and you want to make sure that you have it, Or if you're creating a ton of content and you just don't have enough space, and say you're saving a video on your laptop or computer and then you hit save on that video and the video won't save because your computer and laptop is out of space. Trust me, this happens, and it happens more often than you can possibly think of. The external hard drive is there to save your life. You can literally just save your stuff into that external hard drive, and you just have it in this little beautiful box that you can just plug in, and it won't affect your computer or your laptop space. It won't affect anything. It just holds your stuff in there like a USB. Anybody hear of a USB? Do people use that anymore? It's like that, but bigger and lovelier. And they can run to extremely high storage amounts, like in the terabyte range, and they can get extremely pricey. This is basically adding a double amount of storage onto your computer. So if you think about it that way, you're paying for like a huge amount of space that can really save your life. I feel like this is necessary if you're going to be saving all your documents and your photos and your content. And you hear all the big time YouTubers and content creators talk about their external hard drives. Those things are their babies, and for good reason. It holds all of their hard work in it, go a terabyte or more. And those can range in as little as like $50, but it might not be best quality, as up to like hundreds of dollars. It all depends. I think the one that I have was in the $100 range. An adapter. A lot of people work on different kinds of computers. They have Macs and they have HP, and sometimes you want to fuse those things together. Sometimes you're using a Mac and a phone that's Android, which is in my situation. I have an Android phone, but I use a Mac to edit my videos. So you want to make sure you're having the correct adapters so that everything links together well, and you're not, stuck in a situation where you have photos and videos on your phone and you want to transfer it over to your Mac and it's not working. So just make sure you have something like that. I have a universal adapter that plugs into my Mac, and it has so many different ports. It has HDMI, it has USB-C. I will link the one that I use in the description. It was pretty cheap because it's like a really small thing, and extremely helpful. Another small but critical thing are headphones. If you're going to be editing and there's other people in the house and you just need to focus on what you're working on, headphones are really important, so definitely get yourself a pair if you need that. I can recommend the ones that I have, which is studio headphones. They're wireless headphones, and they're really cute. They're buds. They go into your ear really easily. They're super comfortable, so if you have to edit for hours, they don't feel strain on your ears. And what's really cool about the studio headphones is that you can press a button on the side of it, and it can mute something really quickly. So say somebody's speaking to you, or if you get a phone call, you can quickly mute whatever it is that you're working on with the touch of a button, and you're good. You're all set. I will say that they have sponsored me in the past. That's just a disclaimer right there. They're not sponsoring this video or anything right now, but I have worked with them in the past, and I highly recommend them. They are actually in my holiday gift guide that I will link in the description. That one is a more general holiday gift guide where I curated like really, really special gifts that I would recommend to anyone in your life. I personally have and use them and love them. So if you want to check that out, I'm going to put that in the description. But yeah, headphones. Another thing is a comfortable mouse. So if you're going to do a lot of editing, a lot of video editing or photo editing, whatever it is, if you're going to spend a lot of time on the computer, you're going to want a comfortable mouse. Hand pain is a serious thing, and you do not want to be suffering with that if you've got a deadline to post a video and your hand is just in so much pain. Like, who wants their hand to be in pain to begin with, right? And I have a mouse that's in the $120 range. It is an ergonomic mouse, so you kind of hold it like as if you're shaking someone's hand. What is that anymore? And it's just really comfortable, and it has completely eliminated fatigue when I edit videos. My last video here on YouTube was like 54 minutes, and it was originally an hour and 40 minutes. If I edited that with a regular mouse, I would have been in so much pain. I also forgot to mention that the headphones are in the $100 range, and there's a Black Friday deal or something like that. And yeah, I got them gifted, but they're about $100 for those, which is pretty cheap compared to like AirPods, and they're just as great quality. And the last thing I'm going to mention is editing software. So if you're starting off, you can 100% use the free software that's available on your device. I personally use iMovie, and that's 100% free. But if you want to give the gift of an editing software, or if you want to take your videos to another level, I highly recommend getting an editing software. You can purchase Final Cut Pro. I think it's like $200 or $300 right now. Pretty expensive, but it would be a fantastic gift, and it would mean a lot to someone who is suffering with not the best editing software. I also forgot to mention that the camera was about $500, and like I said before, I paid for it in monthly installments. I forgot to mention that one thing, the price of that one thing. All right, and that about rounds this gift guide up, gift guide slash guide. It kind of was like a dual guide, like a gift guide and just a guide on getting started with whatever tools that you needed. And I hope it was as helpful as I think it was. If it was, definitely give this video a like. It means a lot to the video. And definitely subscribe to the channel if you are liking the videos that I create. It means a lot to me and this channel. I will also list every single item that I mentioned in this video in the description so that you can get some shopping done, hopefully get some discounts. It's always good to save. And yeah, I hope you have a great holiday weekend if you're having a holiday this weekend, and definitely look forward to more holiday videos from me. I'm not sure about Vlogmas. I don't even know what that's all about, but if you've heard of it and you're interested in seeing that from me, let me know and I can try to get that done. But that is all from me this week, and I will see you in the next one.